Hi, everybody. It's Elektra Yao, artist, visa lawyer, and entertainment lawyer. I posted today that I'm going to be going live every day on YouTube. Today, I'm just going to post on Facebook as well, but every day I'm going to go live on YouTube for Thanksgiving because I want to express my thankfulness and my gratitude to the world, to energy, to the fact that we have a new president-elect, to the fact that we have a first woman of color vice president-elect. So I'm very thankful for everything that's happening, and I want to share knowledge and information with you because this is going to be a great year for immigration. Tune into my talk on Friday on Facebook Live to talk about potential new changes on the Biden-Harris agenda. So today we're going to talk about the top 3 questions I get in a consultation, and I want to try to help you guys understand and think through these questions. So the number 1 question, which is probably the most abstract question and the most difficult question to answer, is, do I qualify for the artist visa? Now, this question depends a lot on the attorney's expertise, the attorney's knowledge of your field, and how much you have prepped your CV so that you can discuss the achievements with the attorney. Now, the way I tackle this question is when, and I just got this question 5 minutes before I jumped live, how I answer this question is I look at the CV. That's the first thing that I always look at to get the answer. I look at the CV to see what the person has achieved in his or her career, what sort of achievement, where she has worked or hasn't worked, what special projects. And I ask the client what he or she wants to do in her career, because I always say we can craft the greatest portfolio for you. We can have a lot of press for you, but if you don't have future jobs, we cannot file your case. So, do you qualify is a loaded question because I've got to look at your achievements and we've got to talk about your potential future work. So if I think that you've got strong achievements, and strong achievements really depends on the area of expertise. It really depends on what you're doing in your career. If you are the person that I spoke with today was a broadcast journalist with an expertise in communication management with government officials. This is very, very specific with, her achievements might not be as clear cut as maybe a performance, but definitely working with government officials and advising congressmen on how to speak to their constituents is a huge achievement, right? It is something that not a lot of people have done in their career. So I look at the achievements and I look at the future work. Now, this person doesn't have future work. So does she potentially qualify for the O-1? Good achievements, but no future work. Remember, the O-1 is not a volunteer visa, which means that you can, like I said, you can have a great portfolio, great press, but if you do not have the future work, then you do not qualify because you cannot fulfill the second prong of future lead and critical roles. So, do I qualify for the O-1? Depends on your past work and depends on your potential future work. If you don't have future work, then you don't qualify. If you don't have strong achievements and that's based on the attorney's assessment, then you probably don't qualify. So again, it's a loaded question and the answer will be personalized and will depend on the attorney. The second question that I always get is, how do I find a job? So I know that right now it is very, very difficult for lots of people. Lots of folks are at home in their home countries and they want to come back to the US. There's a lot of excitement in the air, a lot of really positive energy, but they are at home. And I will tell you that if you are sending your CV from abroad, or if you are sending your CV to work in the US and you're located in the US, the first thing that you will be asked, the first 2 things you will be asked actually is, do you have work authorization, number 1, and do you require sponsorship? And if you answer no to those questions, obviously you must answer truthfully, if you don't have those things, you probably won't move forward with your candidacy with the company. So how do you find a job from abroad so that you can qualify and apply for the O-1? Now, I'm an attorney. I'm not a job hunter. I'm not a headhunter. I can't get you a job, nor can I help you find you a job, because that would be a conflict of interest. My job is to prepare the immigration petition on your behalf or on behalf of the petitioner. So I cannot point you in the direction of people that are hiring. I don't have that information, nor could I give you that information, because it is a conflict of interest. I will say, however, there are some attorneys that serve as the agent for their clients, so serve as the agent petitioner for the beneficiaries, and that is also a clear conflict of interest, at least for New York State licensed attorneys. So I can't do that for you if you are my client and you are seeking agent services. So, like I said, the top question that I get is, how do you find a job? Now, I always tell clients, listen, use this as an experience to really develop your networking skills. This is something that you absolutely need for the O-1. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need a job to apply for the O-1. Now, you can either be passive and just send out your CVs, or you can be proactive and go online, network with people, engage in communities, reach out to different artistic communities. There's a lot that you can do. I always tell this story. I once had a client who did not speak a lick of English, very talented filmmaker from Spain, and she was able to find all of her jobs with very reputable companies online. So although it is very, very difficult, it can be done. So the first two questions we discussed is, do I qualify for the O-1? Again, loaded question based on the expertise of the attorney and the knowledge of your field of the attorney, based on whether or not you have future jobs, and based on the strength of your achievements. Again, this is all based on the attorney's assessment. Number two, how do I find a job? An attorney cannot help you find a job. It's a conflict of interest. I cannot do that. No licensed attorney can do that. It is a conflict of interest. However, I suggest that you use this time creatively to really force yourself to develop your marketing plan. I talked about this all summer with you guys. You want to develop your marketing plan because people work with people that they like. And in America and in New York, things happen quickly. So you really want to start to have a proactive approach to your career. Again, this is something on you, and a licensed attorney who is representing you with the O-1 petition cannot do that for you. If they do it for you, won't be me. I'm not that type of attorney. We are a stickler for the rules of ethics in New York State and the ABA rules. So the third question that I always get, and I think I'll give you guys a bonus question too, but the third question that I always get, in addition to, do I qualify? How do I find a job? The third question is, how do I start? How do you start working on your O-1 petition? So beginning to work on your O-1 petition is largely on you as well. You can either begin to work with an attorney to develop your portfolio, or if you're not at that stage yet, you can start to proactively save everything. You're not at the point where you can say, this is good, I'm going to give it to my lawyer. This is bad, I'm not going to give it to my lawyer. You are at the point where you need to save everything. So whenever people ask me this question in a consultation, and maybe they're in the early stages of their OPT, and I advise them that they're not ready to come to me and work with me, I always tell them, save everything. Why do I want you to save everything? Because I want all of that evidence to analyze. I love looking at evidence and analyzing it and telling you, listen, this is good, this is bad, I need more. So you've got to save everything. Of course, I think the best thing to do is be strategic and start with an attorney if you are at that point. But if you are not at that point, that doesn't mean that you cannot start working on your petition. You absolutely can start working on your petition. And you need to start thinking about your petition in terms of your marketing plan, right? What are the different forms of evidence that you can save to prove your case? And I just told you the answer. So what is the answer, guys? The answer is everything. You are not at that point to pick and choose what's good and what's bad. Hi, Lauren. I'm wearing your earrings. Thank you very much. What you should be doing is saving everything. I don't care if you're working with a lawyer or if you're working with me or if you're starting by yourself, you want to save everything. So I just want to recap the top 3 questions that I get. Do I qualify for the O-1? Again, this is a loaded question because it depends on the expertise of the attorney. It depends on your potential future work. And it also depends on your past achievements and whether or not the attorney can gather whether or not those are strong enough achievements to qualify for the O-1. Again, loaded question, but these are questions frequently asked, and I want you guys to understand the point of view of the attorney, because sometimes I can't give you that hard answer. And I've represented really famous people and people not so famous, and the answer is a loaded answer. Second question, how do I find a job? Again, attorneys who are representing you in the petition cannot find you a job. If they're telling you they're finding you a job, you might want to think about who that attorney is and why you decided to work with that attorney. What you can do is develop a proactive approach to your career, which means connecting with additional people in your field, connecting with your communities, putting yourself out there so people know that you are a performer who is seeking additional work for his or her future career in the US. Now, the third question that I always get is, how do I start working on my O-1 case? And like I told you, it's very, very simple. The first thing that you can start doing is to save everything. Whether or not you're working with an attorney or you're working by yourself or you're, trying to DIY it, whatever it is, save everything. You are at that initial point in your O-1 journey where you cannot be critical about the types of evidence that you include. I will give you an example on the most probably not outrageous, but not a typical form of evidence that you see. I included a fan letter. I had a client who got letters from her fans, and she briefly mentioned this during the consultation. And when we were putting the petition together, I'm like, where are your fan letters? I want to include those. And those were the first things that I included on the top of her petition. Obviously, that client was approved without an RFE, but you're not at the point where you can pick and choose. Save everything. So those are the top 3 O-1 artist visa questions that I get. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this provides you with more context to be able to have the energy, have the oomph to tackle this. Remember, 2021 is going to be a great year. We're going out of 2020 with a bang. We've got a new president-elect who has put immigration on his agenda. We're going to be talking about the new issues and changes that are going to potentially occur with immigration. So for everybody out there, American citizens, foreign nationals, business owners, families, workers, whatever, this is a big year for us. You want to be proactive. I hope that this was helpful, guys. Today I streamed on Facebook as well, but I'm only going to be streaming on YouTube starting tomorrow. We'll be streaming every day because I am thankful and grateful for the amazing and excellent result that we had during the election, and the mobilization of all the people in this country, and the amazingness of the human spirit. So hope that this was helpful. I will see you guys tomorrow, both for my immigration talk on YouTube and also on Facebook Live to discuss new immigration policies that will happen and occur under the Biden-Harris administration. Thanks, guys. See you later.